Hi, I'm Pastor John Raymond. I'm the pastor of New Horizon Calvary Chapel in Slidell, Louisiana on Pontchartrain Drive. And I want to thank you for taking a look at this little introduction to what we believe is going to be an incredible ministry opportunity, not just for our church, but to everyone in the greater New Orleans area. A few years ago, I was at a pastor's conference in Southern California, and I heard some pastors talking about radio, and so I stopped and got into the conversation. They asked me where I was from, and I said New Orleans, because really nobody knows Slidell outside of our area for the most part. So I said, well, New Orleans, and they said, well, this really won't apply to you. And I said, well, why not? And they said, well, we're talking about getting a radio station for churches. I said, you mean like a 30-minute radio program? And they said, no, an entire station. I said, wow, how does that happen? They said, well, all the stations that are huge, like in the big markets, like the top 50 markets in New Orleans and other big cities around the country, they've all been allocated and taken years and years ago, 25, 30 years ago, so you'll never find one. But here it is, the FCC is opening up a window of opportunity for nonprofit organizations to file for a license with the FCC to broadcast on a certain signal or a channel on the radio station for a nonprofit Christian radio station. And if you win the contest to see who gets one of these in your area, then you can have a radio station for your very own. And I said, well, actually, I'm in Slidell, which is just on the north shore of New Orleans, of Lake Pontchartrain. And they said, well, you might find a station that can cover your particular area. I said, okay, great. Well, I came home from that conference all excited. I contacted a broadcast engineer and a broadcast attorney and all the people you have to put together to do one of these things. And the engineer said, well, where are you located? Because this guy was off in another part of the country. And I said, well, close to New Orleans. And he laughed again and he said, well, we won't find a station around New Orleans. Those have all been taken 25 or 30 years ago. And I said, well, yeah, so I've heard. But can you look anyway? Because they have the special software that finds stations that are still available. He said, we'll take a look and see what we have. Well, lo and behold, he calls me up a short time later and he says, Pastor Raymond, you'll never believe what we found. And of course, I'm thinking, I'm in ministry, you'd be surprised what I believe, right? And I said, well, what did you find? He said, we have a station that is enormous. It will cover all of New Orleans. It'll cover a lot of the Mississippi Gulf Coast. It'll cover the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain. It's 88.7 FM on the FM dial. And he said, nobody's ever taken it. We don't know how this has been hidden away for so long. And of course, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, the Lord tucked it away for us. So we applied for it with the FCC, and it was closed bidding. You didn't know who was applying. Come to find out later, 11 different organizations, including some big national conglomerates with hundreds of stations, applied for this particular frequency. And for whatever reason, our application, which was a 40-page application, was the one that scored the highest in the scoring process that the FCC uses in order to award these licenses to. So we won the license. We believe it's a miracle. We believe it's a gift of God, just His favor. And so we're excited about what's coming. Now, just to let you know our vision for the station, we are in the top 50 markets in the United States according to the Arbitron rating. So we're going to be about, we're going to cover maybe 2 million plus people in the greater New Orleans area and the Mississippi Gulf Coast. We're allowed to push 100,000 watts, which is the highest maximum allowable station for an FM station. So we're going to be able to push that contour all across the Mississippi Gulf Coast and Louisiana, and it's going to be the biggest Christian station in our area. And what we would like to do is have the flexibility as a locally owned station to do things that a lot of nationally owned stations can't do. Or stations that have been around for a long time and have their boards that everything has to go through, and they have things that they have to do, that they're in a box, whereas we can do different things. For example, let's say that there's a new up-and-coming Christian artist or band that wants to get some airplay. Well, they know it's close to impossible to get that airplay on a national station. You're just not going to do it. But we can actually have times where we allow new artists to get their taste of some airtime. Or let's say we wanted to sponsor a community-wide Christian concert. You know, New Orleans is famous all over the world for Jazz Fest. What if we wanted to do Jesus Fest and have some of the best nationally renowned Christian artists come in for a few days and just have a huge Christian music festival? Well, you can do that as long as you have enough exposure to bring people in. Well, when you have a major 100,000 watt FM Christian radio station in one of the top 50 markets in the country, now you've got the exposure. Now you can do something that other stations just won't or they're unable to do. We'd like to do a lot of things like connect local churches together, announce their different events, whether it's Vacation Bible School or Bible studies or different things that they have, or even maybe announce a lot of Christian businesses. I don't know about you, but I kind of like to keep my money in the family. And if there's a Christian business over here and a non-Christian business, if I've got a choice, I'd rather take my business to the Christian-owned business. And so we'd like to have a website that's interactive, that has information about all the churches, about all the Christian business owners and people like that, so we can really connect as a community. So our vision is to have the Bridge Radio be a community-wide radio station. Sure, the license belongs to this particular church, New Horizon, but I want people to feel like this is their own radio station, wherever they live in our area. And we're excited about where that can go. The Lord has brought together a great team of people to help with that. You know, I've had significant experience in television and radio. Some of the people that are on our team have as well. For example, Crystal Booth Gonzalez. She was well known for being a television reporter and the traffic reporter for WWL-TV Channel 4, the CBS affiliate in New Orleans. So many of you are going to recognize her face from being on television, but also her voice, because she's going to be one of our on-air hosts. She's got a degree in mass communications, focused in journalism, and she's going to really have a way of reaching out over the airwaves and connecting with our listeners. And then the second person we have as an on-air host is Lisa Kiefer. You might remember her name. She was from our area on the CBS Survivor show in the reality genre. And she's got a great personality, just a vivacious, excited type of a personality, and she's going to be one of our on-air hosts too. She also has a degree in mass comm in public relations. And then we have a person named Tony Maggio that is going to work with us. He owns a production studio called TJ Productions. Now, he's not going to be an employee of the station, but he's a friend of mine that goes way back, and he's going to take on being able to do all of our programming that we need done in-house. For example, let's say there's a church that wants to develop their own ministry programming, but they've never done this before. Well, TJ Productions can come in and Tony can teach them how to set that up, how to get that going. He can do voiceovers, product design, handle the entire project himself, record it, get it on the air, and things like that. Let's say that there's a Christian business that wants to promote their business out to the community. Well, TJ's the guy to call to come in and do voiceovers and design an entire promotion for that business, or a remote, or whatever it's going to take to get that business out into the community. So once again, we've got a lot of cool people that are very experienced, very committed to this. We have a great vision to have the community brought together, the churches brought together. And the truth of the matter is, a lot of people who are believers in Christ, who are Christians, really aren't connected to a church anywhere. There's a lot of unconnected Christians in our area. And what we would like to do is help them find a good Bible-believing church in their area and get involved in the family of God on a regular basis. We'd like to see that happen, as well as provide great inspirational worship music and great teachings from national teachers to local teachers. We want you to be able to tune in to the Bridge Radio and be able to listen to your favorite Bible teacher. And another interesting story, we're calling it the Bridge Radio. Well, if you remember a while back, Bethany World Prayer Center in Baton Rouge used to have a station called The Bridge. And people have actually commented to me on that. Well, they sold that station to the conglomerate called K-Love that owns over 700 stations all around the country. Well, K-Love changes all of the names of their stations that they purchase to K-Love. So I called the head of K-Love and I asked him, I said, look, this station used to be called The Bridge in Baton Rouge. Are y'all going to use that name anymore? He said, no, we're not. We're calling it K-Love. If you want to use the name The Bridge, you're more than welcome to it. And so we were very excited that they gave us permission to use that name. But beyond that, K-Love's generosity even went so far as that they purchased another station in Mobile, Alabama, and they called me up and they said, Pastor Raymond, we need to decommission this station change the name to K-Love, and we need to get rid of this radio studio equipment. Would you allow us to donate approximately $50,000 worth of studio equipment to help you get your radio station up and running? Guys, this is what God has been doing time and time again. At a chance meeting, at a pastor's conference years ago in California, I overhear a conversation about a window of opportunity for a license. Then I come in and thinking that there was no way we were going to get it, we apply for it and we get it. And then we get a great name. Then we get people like K-Love that are donating things. And we've got a lot of people that said, hey, you know what? I want to stand behind you with that. We want to have a ministry program on the air. Or we've got a Christian business and we'd like to sponsor our Christian business on the air and help contribute financially, become a bridge builder for the Bridge radio station. And then we have a lot of individuals who are saying, you know what? I would like to give financially as well as prayerfully to support that type of ministry. So guys, I just want to invite you, if this sounds like something that can bless you and that you would like to be a part of, get ready to tune in to 88.7 FM. We're not up and running yet, but when we are, we're just praying that you're going to love it. And we'd like to invite you to become a bridge builder with us and lay up treasure in heaven as we are reaching the world together. So thanks for watching this, and we'd like you to tune in. We've got a great website at www.thebridge.fm. You can see a lot about us and take a look at our coverage map. We invite you to join us. Thank you so much. God bless you.